Jnanatimarandasya Jnanandjana Salakaya Sakshur Militanyena Tasma Sri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripasindupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratuse Namaha. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj and purports of Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We are at Madhya Lila chapter 3, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stay at the house of Advaita Acharya. The Lord met all the devotees one after the other, and looking at everyone's face individually, he embraced them tightly. Although the devotees were unhappy at not seeing the Lord's hair, they nonetheless derived great happiness from seeing his beauty. Srivas, Ramai, Vidyanidhi, Gadadhar, Gangadas, Vakreshvara, Murari, Suklambara, Buddhimanta Khan, Nandana, Sridhar, Vijaya, Vasudev, Damodar, Mukunda, Sanjaya, and all the others, however many I can mention. Indeed, all the inhabitants of Navadvip arrived there, and the Lord met them with smiles and glances of mercy. Everyone was chanting the holy name of Hari and dancing. In this way, the domicile of Advaita Acharya was converted into Sri Vaikuntha Puri. People came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from various other villages nearby, as well as Navadvip. To everyone who came to see the Lord from village nearby, especially from Navadvip, Advaita Acharya gave residential quarters, as well as all kinds of eatables, for many days. Indeed, he properly adjusted everything. The supplies of Advaita Acharya were inexhaustible and indestructible. As many goods and commodities as he needed, just as many again appeared. From the day Sachimata arrived at the house of Advaita Acharya, she took charge of the cooking, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dined in the company of all the devotees. All the people who came there during the day saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the friendly behavior of Advaita Acharya. At night, they had the opportunity to see the Lord's dancing and hear his chanting. When the Lord performed kirtan, he manifested all kinds of transcendental symptoms. He appeared stunned and trembling, his hair stood on end, and his voice faltered. There were tears and devastation. Frequently, the Lord would tumble to the ground. Seeing this, Mother Sachi would cry. Srimati Sachimata thought that the body of Snimai was being smashed when he fell down. So she cried, "Alas," and petitioned Lord Vishnu. "My dear Lord, kindly bestow this benediction as a result of whatever service I have rendered unto you from my childhood. Whenever Nimai falls to the surface of the earth, please do not let him feel any pain." When Mother Sachi was thus overwhelmed in maternal love for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she became transformed with happiness, fear and humility, as well as bodily symptoms. Since Advaita Acharya was giving alms and food to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the other devotees headed by Srivas Thakur also desired to give him alms and invite him for lunch. Hearing these proposals made by the devotees of the Lord, Mother Sachi said to the devotees, "How many times shall I get the chance to see Nimai again?" Sachimata submitted, "As far as you are concerned, you can meet Nimai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many times somewhere else. But what is the possibility of my ever meeting him again? I shall have to remain at home. A sannyasi never returns to his home. Mother Sachi appealed to all the devotees to give her this charity. As long as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at the house of Advaita Acharya, only she could supply him food. Hearing this appeal from Mother Sachi, all the devotees offered obeisances and said, "We all agree to whatever Mother Sachi desires." When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw his mother's great eagerness, he became a little agitated. He therefore assembled all the devotees present and spoke to them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed them all, "Without your order, I tried to go to Vrindavan. There was some obstacle, however, and I had to return. My dear friends, although I have suddenly accepted this renounced order, I still know that I shall never be indifferent to you. My dear friends, as long as I remain manifest, I shall never give you up, nor shall I be able to give up my mother. After accepting sannyas, it is not the duty of a sannyasi to remain at his birthplace encircled by relatives. Make some arrangement so that I may not leave you, and at the same time people may not blame me for remaining with relatives after taking sannyas." After hearing Lord Chaitanya's statements, all the devotees, headed by Advaita Acharya, approached Mother Sachi. When they submitted Lord Chaitanya's statement, Mother Sachi, who is the mother of the universe, began to speak. Sachi Mata said, "It will be a great happiness for me if Nimai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, stays here. But at the same time, if someone blames him, it will be my great unhappiness." Mother Sachi said, "This consideration is good. In my opinion, if Nimai remains at Jagannath Puri, he may not leave any one of us, and at the same time can remain aloof as a sannyasi. Thus both purposes are fulfilled. Since Jagannath Puri and Navadvip are intimately related, as if there were two rooms in the same house, people from Navadvip generally go to Jagannath Puri, and those in Jagannath Puri go to Navadvip. This going and coming will help carry news of Lord Chaitanya. In this way I will be able to get news of him. All you devotees will be able to come and go, and sometimes he may also come to take his bath in the Ganges. I do not care for my personal happiness or unhappiness, but only for his happiness. Indeed, I accept his happiness as my happiness." After hearing Sachi Mata, all the devotees offered her prayers and assured her that her order, like a Vedic injunction, could not be violated. All the devotees informed Lord Chaitanya of Sachi Mata's decision. Hearing this, the Lord became very pleased. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered respects to all the devotees present from Navadvip and other towns, speaking to them as follows: "My dear friends, now you are all my intimate friends. Now I am begging a favor of you. Please give it to me." Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested them all to return home and begin chanting the holy name congregationally. He also requested them to worship Krishna, chant his holy name, and discuss his holy pastimes. After thus instructing the devotees, the Lord asked their permission to go to Jagannath Puri. He assured them that at intervals he would come there and meet them again and again. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offering due respects to all the devotees and smiling very mildly, bade them farewell. After requesting all the devotees to return home, the Lord decided to go to Jagannath Puri. At that time, Haridas Thakur began to cry and speak some pathetic words. Haridas Thakur said, "You are going to Jagannath Puri, and that is all right, But what will be for me my destination? I'm not able to go to Jagannath Puri. Because I'm the lowest among men, I shall not be able to see you. How shall I maintain my sinful life? The Lord replied to Haridas Thakur, please check your humility. Just the sight of your humility very much agitates my mind. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assured Haridas Thakur that he would place a petition before Lord Jagannath and that he would certainly take him there to Jagannath Puri. After that, Advaita Acharya respectfully requested Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show him mercy by remaining another 2 or 4 days. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never violated the request of Advaita Acharya at Puri. Lord Chaitanya's decision was received very happily by Advaita Acharya, Mother Sachi, and all the devotees. Advaita Acharya celebrated every day with a great festival. During the day, the devotees discussed subject matters concerning Krishna, and at the night there was a great festival of congregational chanting at the house of Advaita Acharya. Mother Sachi cooked with great pleasure, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with the devotees, accepted the prasadam with great pleasure. In this way, all the opulences of Advaita Acharya, his faith, devotion, home, riches, and everything else were successfully utilized in the worship of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As Mother Sachi constantly saw the face of her son and fed him, her own happiness increased and was indeed complete. In this way, at Advaita Acharya's house, all the devotees met and passed some days together in a greatly festive mood. The next day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested all the devotees to return to their respective homes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also asked them to execute the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord at their homes, and he assured them that they would be able to meet him again. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, sometimes you will come to Jagannath Puri, and sometimes I shall come bathe in the Ganges. Sri Advaita Acharya sent 4 persons, Nityananda Gosai, Jagadananda Pandit, Damodar Pandit, and Mukunda Datta, to accompany the Lord. After pacifying his mother, Sachimata, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu submitted prayers to see her lotus feet. When everything was arranged, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu circumambulated his mother and then started for Jagannath Puri. In the house of Advaita Acharya, there arose tumultuous crying. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was unaffected. He left swiftly, and Advaita Acharya followed him, weeping. After he had followed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for some distance, Advaita Acharya was petitioned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with folded hands. The Lord spoke the following sweet words. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please pacify all the devotees and my mother. If you become agitated, no one will be able to continue to exist. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Advaita Acharya and stopped him from following any further. Then, without anxiety, he proceeded to Jagannath Puri. The Lord, with the other 4 persons, went along the banks of the Ganges through the path of Chatraboga toward Niladri, Jagannath Puri. In this book, known as Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur has elaborately described the Lord's passage to Jagannath Puri. If one hears the activities of the Lord at the house of Advaita Acharya, he will certainly very soon attain the riches of love of Krishna. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Chapter 4. Sri Madhavendra Puri's Devotional Service. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord went to Jagannath Puri and visited Lord Jagannath's temple. He also met with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. All these pastimes have been very elaborately explained by Vrindavan Das Thakur in his book Chaitanya Bhagavat. By nature, all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Therefore, I very humbly submit that since these incidents have already been nicely described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, I would be very proud to repeat the same thing, and this would not be very good. I do not have such powers. I am therefore presenting only a synopsis of those events already described elaborately by Vrindavan Das Thakur in his Chaitanya Mangal, known as Chaitanya Bhagavat. Some of the incidents he did not describe elaborately, but only summarized, and these I shall try to describe in this book. Excuse me. I thus offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Vrindavan Das Thakur. I hope that I will not offend his lotus feet by this action. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded to Jagannath Puri with 4 of his devotees, and he chanted the holy names of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, with great eagerness. Each day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went to a village and collected a great quantity of rice and other grains for the preparations of prasadam. There were many rivers on the way, and at each river there was a tax collector. The tax collectors did not hinder the Lord, however, and he showed them mercy. Finally, he reached the village of Remuna. The deity Gopinath in the temple of Remuna was very attractive. Lord Chaitanya visited the temple and offered his obeisances with great devotion. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of the Gopinath deity, the helmet of flowers on the head of Gopinath fell down and landed on the head of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the deity's helmet fell upon his head, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very pleased, and thus he chanted and danced in various ways with his devotees. All the servants of the deities were struck with wonder due to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intense love, his exquisite beauty, and his transcendental qualities. Because of their love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they served him in many ways, and that night the Lord stayed at the temple of Gopinath. The Lord remained there because he was very eager to receive the remnants of sweet rice offered to the Gopinath deity, having heard a narration from his spiritual master, Isvarapuri, of what had happened once there. That deity was known widely as Ksira Chora Gopinath, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his devotees the story of how the deity became so famous. Formerly, the deity had stolen a pot of sweet rice for Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, he became very famous as the Lord who stole the sweet rice. Once, Sri Madhavendra Puri traveled to Vrindavan, where he came upon the hill known as Govardhan. Madhavendra Puri was almost mad in his ecstasy of love of Godhead, and he did not know whether it was day or night. Sometimes he stood up and sometimes he fell to the ground. He could not discriminate whether he was in a proper place or not. After circumambulating the hill, Madhavendra Puri went to Govinda Kund and took his bath. He then sat beneath a tree to take his evening rest. While he was sitting beneath a tree, an unknown cowherd boy came with a pot of milk, placed it before Madhavendra Puri, and smiling addressed him as follows. "Oh, Madhavendra Puri, please drink the milk I have brought. Why don't you beg some food to eat? What kind of meditation are you undergoing?" When he saw the beauty of that boy, Madhavendra Puri became very satisfied. Hearing his sweet words, he forgot all hunger and thirst. Madhavendra Puri said, "Who are you? Where do you reside? And how did you know that I was fasting?" So we stop here for today, yeah? And continue tomorrow further. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela Chapter 4, Sri Madhavendra Puri's Devotional Service. Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev. Jaya Sakara Sisi Ranga Sundarada Kuridara Chuki Jaya. Om Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Nirmala Jaya Maharaj Ki Jaya. Om Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jaya. Om Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Rakak Sudadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jaya. Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jaya. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jaya. Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jaya. Sri Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Sri Acharya Vrinda Ki Jaya. Sri Sabhajala Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jaya. Sabhajala Sri Mama Prabhu Ki Jaya. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jaya. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jaya. Ganga Yamuna Chu Ki Jaya. Rantarachi Bhagavatam Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jaya. Sri Navadvipam Ki Jaya. Sri Mayapudam Ki Jaya. Sri Vrindavanam Ki Jaya. Sri Purushottamadam Ki Jaya. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jaya. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jaya. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat East London Chapter Ki Jaya. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat West London Chapter Ki Jaya. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jaya. All glories to the world devotees Ki Jaya. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jaya. Nitai Gaur Premanande.